Welcome to the Know Your Basics tutorial series where we're blitzing through a guide for the rotations of classes, pun intended. If you do have want any information about builds or more advanced rotations, there's a link in the description to the unofficial Discord. They should be able to answer your questions there. Now, a few things about Katar. The first of which is Lotus Madness gives you a buff which basically gives you lots of damage. It stacks up to 10 times and lasts 5 seconds. The second thing is whenever you release charges, it gives you 6% Brawler skills damage, and this is just per charge, so it's a maximum of 36 total per release of them, which is either with Inner Strength or with Lotus Strike. And the final thing is that when you use Sparks and Flames, it gives you 50% damage increase on your Lotus Strike. So, the rotation for short boss fights is basically get 2 stacks of Lotus Madness, Sparks and Flames, Lotus Strike, do it again if you need it. If not, then great, it's dead. You can throw Swift Strike in if you do need the Death Shred. You don't have to, it's kind of up to you. For longer boss fights, you want to start by using Inner Strength. So there's 2 ways to do this. The first of which is you can use Blitz, and the second of which is you can't use Blitz. So if you can use Blitz, what you want to do is you want to Lotus Madness, 2 stacks again. But this time you want to Blitz, Shadow Strike, Blitz. If you do get 3 stacks before you use the second Blitz, don't use the second Blitz. Swift Strike, and then Inner Strength. Okay? Again, I'll do that one more time. So Lotus Madness, the 2 stacks. Blitz, I got 2 charges. Swift Strike, don't need to use it. Or, sorry, Shadow Strike, and then Swift Strike, and then Inner Strength. If you cannot use Blitz because you do not want to stun the boss, then you start with Shadow Strike. Okay, you Lotus Madness to 2. You would then Shadow Strike again, Swift Strike, and if you only have 2 charges here, then you would Shadow Strike again. If you have 3, obviously you don't need to throw the third one. And then you Inner Strength. Okay, that's basically starting you with this 36% Katar skills damage, which happens after all the debuffs have gone onto the boss, basically, which means your first rotation is going to do a lot more, even though you did miss your first Lotus Strike. So, now that you've got this beautiful, beautiful buff, which I will quickly build one more time. Once you have it, you want to go back into 2 stacks of Lotus Madness, Sparks and Flames, and then Lotus Strike. And then just keep repeating this until you have, if it wants to behave, until you'd have 10 stacks of this. If you do find yourself in a situation where Lotus Madness hasn't quite given you the stacks fast enough, then you can use either Blitz or Shadow Strike as a filler to get yourself a few extra charges for next time you Lotus Strike. Don't forget though, you need to tap Lotus Madness and then re-Sparks and Flames if it was on cooldown, because you have to keep this up every 5 seconds, and you have to use this before using Lotus Strike. Okay? Once you have 5 stacks of this, you no longer need to use it every single rotation. So there are now 2 new rotations, the first of which is Sparks and Flames, Lotus Madness, Sparks and Flames, Lotus Strike. The second of which is Swift Strike, Lotus Madness, Sparks and Flames, and Lotus Strike. So obviously you use the Swift Strike one whenever you need to get that debuff back up, which is once every like 2 rotations, I think. And the Sparks and Flames one you just use in between. If you're not confident of the class and you do things like this, where you've just Lotus Striked and then you go into this combo, okay, and oh dear, Lotus Strike's on cooldown. If that's happening to you a lot, then only use Lotus Strike when your Swift Strike, only use Swift Strike when Lotus Strike is on cooldown. Now my weapon's just broken, but that's okay because this guide is over. The one other thing I will mention though before I go is that don't be afraid to use Inner Strength. It is not a waste of your rotation because it will give you Brawler skills damage, and obviously keeping yourself alive is far more important than anything else if you are dying. Thanks for watching this video, I hope it was helpful, and I will speak to you next time.